post something, because it makes you sound better, do something about it, because, you know, these people have nowhere to go.
The row over where to put sites has been raging for decades. 21 years ago, I filmed on Swansea's sprawling, unofficial site. Here, more than 100 people are living in appalling squalor. Families with small children make the best of filthy conditions because this is their last refuge. Back then, I met another family there, the Joyces. Mounds of rubbish have piled up behind the caravan belonging to Kathleen Joyce. She only leaves her caravan during the day. At night, she's trapped inside, besieged by an invasion of rats.
It was a friend of mine was here a couple of months ago, and she got a little girl, and one got into the caravan and got the child with the leg. So the child was a couple of weeks up in Morrison Hospital.
They were regularly evicted. Years earlier, her daughter-in-law, Christine, told the BBC how she'd struggled to find a school that was prepared to teach her children.
She had the first school on the road here, and I asked her to take the kids in. For a minute she thought it was somebody out of the houses. So when she heard us from down here, she refused me.
This is Christine now. We found her living a few miles from the old site. She still doesn't have an official pitch in the city. Hello, hello, hello.
Nice to meet you, Tim.
How are you? It's been a long time.
Long time, Tim.
Doesn't it? Can I come in?
Yes, please, come in.
Thank you. Well, here we are again.
Here we are, Tim.
21 years later.
Later on in life. And we're still here.
Oh, and you're still here.
Yeah.
And how have things been for you?
Awful. Moving around week after week, month after month, until we got this campsite over here.
Do you ever get depressed by it?
Sometimes I get depressed. I'm on depressant tablets at the moment, so.
Are you?
Yeah.
Antidepressants?
Antidepressant at the moment.
And do you know what the root cause of that is?
The hassle I had through life, with nowhere properly to stay and no amenities I need and the kids need. And I would like my family to have.
Christine's children and grandchildren live here too. Swansea Council owns the land and it has tried to evict them. But in court, Christine won the right to stay here until a new official site is built.
This is the taps. There's no water coming out of them, as you can see yourself. Both taps, hot or cold, nothing.
So everything has to be hand carried, does it?
Everything has to be hand carried in. This is our water supply.
So for all the 12 caravans here, all your washing needs,
that's supply
all
to
your
12 caravans.
It all comes from here?
All from there.
The council paid around £45,000 to have 2 toilets and showers installed after the Children's Commissioner, Keith Towler, intervened. But Christine says it's still a struggle.
We're finding it very difficult with so many kids and so many adults using 2 showers and 2 toilets. It's awful. It's just not on, isn't it?
But the life of uncertainty for travellers and gypsies in Swansea and across Wales might be about to change. In the autumn, the Welsh Government will introduce legislation which, if it's passed, will mean that councils will be prosecuted if they don't provide more official sites in future. But with a new law, there could be further tension in communities already unhappy with plans for new sites. Hilary and Tom Jenkins don't want one at the bottom of their garden. They're helping to lead the fight in Llansamlet.
If the council wanted to put £500,000 houses there, I'm afraid Tom and I would be objecting as well.
They've organised protests and petitions against the new site here. Currently, the official, tolerated and illegal sites are all in the Llansamlet area.
I am not racist. I have no objection to the council providing a site. But if you said, put all black people to live in one area of Swansea, then the council would be up in arms, council officers would be up in arms, the police would be up in arms, and the Commission for Racial Equality would be up in arms, and anyone who had a fair-minded view of society would also be up in arms. While
the rows with the council continue, Christine has to manage. She'd happily stay here if the council installed amenities, but it won't because it says it's unsuitable.
We were willing to pay rent for this place, but the council said we don't have to pay rent because it wasn't a permanent residence. But I was willing to pay rent for it.
You don't pay council tax, though.
We don't pay council tax.
But perhaps it might help your argument.
We are willing to do it.
Yes, you're willing to pay
Of course
council
we're willing
tax,
to do it.
so if you made the site
Exactly.
permanent...
Exactly. They know that already we're willing to do it.
For the McDonoughs living on a roadside, there's more upheaval ahead. Bernard is worried about the children's education if they have to leave the area.
Kids going to school and some toilets and water and some electric for them. That's all I want. And I'd like them to learn and read and write, you know. I missed out a little bit of myself in and out. Never followed it up, but I would like for them to read and write, you know.
They've been warned they'll be evicted by September if they don't move on. Where would you go to?
Somewhere around the area again.
And the whole process will start all over?
All over again. They start getting us court orders and moving us here and moving us there. That's what's going on in my life.
It costs the public every time gypsies and travellers are evicted, but without enough sites, the bill gets longer and the problem goes on and on. In Gorsinen, Malcolm says that for local politicians like him, there are no votes in gypsies and travellers.
I know councillors that have been told if they come here, you got it. It's still true. Today.
At the official site, Jimmy is anticipating his meeting with Malcolm.
He'd be expecting us to be all rough, rowdy. Get him tied up, will it? Might frighten him.
So, this is who you come to meet.
Right. Raise his finally.
This is Jimmy.
Oh, this is all right.
This is Malcolm.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you. And I'm Tim.
Tim.
How are you?
mate?
Nice
God
to
bless
meet you too.
I'm going to be blunt, right? And you be blunt with me, okay?
I will do, sir.
Right.
Right.
What do you want to know?
Come along over and have a chat then, shall we?
Right, Malcolm, what would you like to know about travellers?
Right. How could you say you were travelling when you got a permanent site?
What can I say to that? We were travellers, now we're...
You're permanent.
We've
Would you like to be
settled
in a permanent house?
No.
Why?
Would you like to live in a caravan?
I've got a caravan.
Would you like to live in it permanently?
No.
Why not?
Because it's too cold in the winter bringing children up.
I don't like a house. It feels like a prison to me.
You're Irish, by birth?
No,
You got
I'm Welsh by birth.
Welsh by birth, but
I was
Irish.
born
you
and
said.
bred in this country.
Right.
I used to box for Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was light heavyweight champion of this country in
Right.
1999.
But people won't accept you because you're living in caravan and you travellers.
Why can't they accept us for what we are, though? I met someone this morning now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called me a jippo.
Wait a minute now. There's a difference between a gypsy and an Irish tinker.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Two different ways to go, right?
Yeah.
The gypsy moves about all over the place.
An Irish tinker was racist. That's like calling a black person the N-word. In all fairness.
Unfortunately, yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So you've just been very racist to me like that.
Don't take offence, right?
No, go on. The world has got to change, Malcolm. It can't keep on like this.
Next, it's a quick tour of the site.
Well, you've got a better playground and the children ain't got to sign it. I'll be honest with you.
The council is good to us on here.
How do you make a living?
Scrap.
Scrap.
Anything I get, I work for it.
Right.
I work hard for it. And I think that is the way any young man should be. If you're able to get up and work, you should be working.
Right. You're on your end of the asphalt or anything like that?
No, don't do
You
that.
don't bother with that?
No.
There's a lot of people in Gorsinen that have been caught on people who've come in Irish,
Yeah.
laying asphalt, quick and easy, buck and away.
Again, most of them is probably not even travellers. Just
Probably,
put
but
on an Irish accent.
They're Irish.
I mean, they probably put on the
That's the
accent.
trouble, see.
And it's just bang, travellers.
Yeah. Yep.
Is there anything you think the travelling community could do to change perceptions about it?
It's not going to happen in my lifetime. Travellers are just looked at and despised throughout society. It's not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, wouldn't it be fair if you tried to mix with the community?
But we do. Travellers are trying to mix with the community, Malcolm. But we keep getting pushed out. It's like you said, it's a stigma over the traveller. As soon as a traveller or a gypsy, thieving bastards.
If I met him in the city centre, I wouldn't know he's a traveller. I wouldn't. Never know.
So what is it you object to? The caravan life?
The caravan life and the mess that's left behind and the thieving that goes on there.
Right, I'm not saying...
As pen, everyone will welcome with the same brush.
No, that I'm
Not
saying...
all travellers are like that.
I appreciate that, right? I appreciate that, right? But once one does it, it goes right through. It's a stigma right through.
Yeah.
Jimmy accepts that some travellers can be just as prejudiced.
It's on both sides. It's not just in the house dwelling people, it's on travellers as well. But people's got to say, look, well, that's your way of living, this is our way of living. As long as no one's breaking the law and we all try and get on.
There's no doubt this is a sensitive issue. No one from Swansea Council wanted to be interviewed about it. They're currently assessing thousands of objections to the plans. The council says a site will be built, but as yet no one knows exactly where or when. Back in Newport, and today, after looking at hundreds of possible locations for a site, councillors are about to make a tough decision. They know they won't please everyone. Tom Hendry and his boss are there to represent the gypsies. Carly and local protesters are on the other side.
If that land is allocated, as the plan is at the moment, then there's no financial gain for the council.
No, will you let me speak now? I spoke for you. Housing, having somewhere safe for your children to live, to grow up, to play, is a basic human right. You would not usurp someone's basic human rights to make money.
The council didn't want to be interviewed about the plans. There was a heated debate inside the chamber, but we weren't allowed to film it. Eventually they decided Ringland is the right place. But Carly and the protesters aren't giving up.
Our plan at the moment for the local residents is we'll be getting together and we will be proceeding with legal action against the council.
The plan will still have to be approved by the Welsh Government. It could be months before the Prices and the city's other gypsy families know they'll end up.
We want a site, an home, say as our home, somewhere to stay all the time and safe for the kids.
The Welsh Government has offered councils grants to pay for new sites, but much of the money still hasn't been used. Assembly member Julie Morgan chairs the cross-party committee on gypsies and travellers. She says a new law will finally force councils to deal with the issue.
We have to grasp the nettle and we have to try and find places for people to live. They have human rights.
But if councils don't do it, what sanctions will be applied against them?
I can't tell you. I don't know at this stage.
What should sanctions be applied against them?
Well, ultimately, I think that every effort will have to be made to ensure they do it.
The housing bill, which could change everything for the families we've met, could become law next year. For now, though, Christine's determined to live her way.
My culture to stay like this. I was reared like this as a child. And my family before me. And I'm not going to leave it off. If I have to live like this for the rest of my life, without water and without electric, I'll fight for it.
But Bernard and his family will be on the move again soon. And Malcolm's visit has given him cause for thought.
Just boy, I know different of my boy.
Just better looking. Do you think that the impression you had and the one that you gave us earlier might be a little bit prejudiced?
Could be, but he's Welsh boy. With an Irish accent, broad Irish accent.
That's what you've just found out?
Yeah. And as I said to you, if I met him in Swansea, I wouldn't know the difference. I wouldn't know the difference at all. But I still can't understand why they can't live in a house with the family he's got.
Do you regret anything you've said?
Not all of it, no. Not all
Some
of it. Just a bit of it. He seems quite a nice bloke.
It could take a long time before we know if building a new site will build bridges between communities. Jimmy is keeping an open mind.
I hope he has a different understanding of the travellers. We are normal people. We just want to get on with our lives. We're never going to change. We are not... See, you can't just change because people want you to change. You are who you are.